When we talk about Chanukah, we really are not just talking about what everybody thinks they know. Whether it's the holiday of freedom, whether it's lighting candles, there's a deeper meaning and a deeper historical experience which Chanukah embodies and represents, which I think is very relevant and very contemporary. We have to understand something, that it wasn't easy for them. The idea of taking responsibility for life and death decisions and for the decisions of the future of Judaism were not easily taken. And it's interesting that one finds an example specifically in the episode that we know best about Chanukah, the rebuilding and the rededication of the temple in Jerusalem. In addition, we forget that for the first time, questions that were unprecedented on a religious frame came up, and there was no one to ask, because during the entire First Temple period, there were prophets. When questions came up, who asked the prophet? At the beginning of the Second Temple period, in the 5th century BCE, prophecy disappears. Prophets are no more. And now, Judaism, representatives of Judaism, face problems, questions and challenges which they had never ever done before, and without the backing of a prophet. And what they had was the Torah, and what they had was the oral tradition, and they had to make do with that. Taking people's lives and deciding who shall live and who shall die, when one should sacrifice, that's an amazing responsibility to have to decide. In fact, the book of Maccabees tells us that on one occasion, the Jews were attacked by the Greeks. They refused to fight back because of Shabbat. And all of the Jews who were hiding and decided not to fight were killed. The leader of the rebellion, Mattathias, the father of the Maccabee brothers, had to make a decision. Is in fact one allowed to fight on Shabbat or not? And they took the decision and decided yes. Pikuach nefesh dochesh Shabbat, the principle of sanctity of human life overcoming the dictates of Shabbat applies to warfare as well, and they fought. What we take for granted today in Israel was then not so simple, not so straightforward. Similarly, they had to decide whether they should celebrate. All of the other holidays that we know are written in the Bible, but the idea that you can make a new holiday was unparalleled in the second century BCE. And indeed, they decided to create Chanukah. Chanukah is not just a celebration of a victory of freedom and a freedom of religion, but in fact of taking responsibility for the future life of Judaism in a world without prophecy. So the Chanukah, in many ways, is not just the holiday of freedom; it's the holiday of the future of Judaism, which started perhaps then and reaches to today.